go south down towards Fort Lauderdale and talk about an upcoming event down there, Veg Fest. So for those of you who are into a healthy lifestyle and eating fruits and vegetables and letting the animals be, we're going to learn how you could do it and do it better. So you won't want to miss that segment. So stay tuned, and we'll be back with more of the Golf and Travel Show.
Cinderella story, out of nowhere. A former greenskeeper now about to become the Masters champion.
It looks like I'm a wreck. It's in the hole!
I rap fly, call me chocolate thunder, and I got good too, going 4 strokes under, get out the way, if you wanna go play, cause I give it my all, every single day.
Have a lot of cash cause I sink my putts, stacks and stacks cause I'm making the cuts, you can't fathom my skills, I'm unreal.
And we are back in time for one more quick message from our sponsor, Labor Finders. If your business needs industrial workers or if you're looking for work, you gotta call Labor Finders. Labor Finders places for temporary or temporary to hire opportunities for skilled, semi-skilled or general labor positions such as plumbers, electricians, concrete workers, forklift operators, landscapers, office clerical, hospitality, and so much more. Labor Finders has almost 200 offices nationwide. Near here in Boca Raton, they have offices in Homestead, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and in Jupiter. So if you need legal, insured workers, or if you're looking for work, call Labor Finders toll free at 800-864-7749. That's 800-864-7749, or visit laborfinders.com. And we are back, and I have to admit that this next event is something that's a little bit foreign to me because I happen to still have bad eating habits, and I probably need to change them, but I want to learn more about it, and I know that there are many people out there that do prefer not to eat meat, and they're probably a lot healthier than I. So, but to find out about this event called Veg Fest, which is coming up December 3rd at the War Memorial Auditorium in Fort Lauderdale, I figure we go right to the guy who knows all about it, the guy who founded the event, and that would be Kyle Michaud. Kyle, are you there? Kyle?
Hey, Dan.
Sounds like you're in the middle of a festival right now.
Yeah, do you mind if I just come back in 1 minute?
Sure. Take a break and get the quietness there. What I'll do is I'll talk a little bit about the event for you so that you don't have to. So this event features over 125 different vendors. You're going to have the opportunity to get food and beverage samples, cooking demonstrations, live music, kids activities, and much more. And this is an event, I guess this isn't Kyle's first event, so he's done some other similar area events as well. And putting an event like this together, I know from firsthand experience, is not an easy thing to do because I do put events together as well. Typically they're golf events though, but when it comes to eating healthy, I work with some people that one who's a pescatarian who eats just fish and stays away from the red meat. Other people that will eat poultry but not beef. Everybody kind of has their own level of what they want to do and what makes them feel right. I've just recently gotten into some of the supplements to help offset some of my bad eating habits, so I still have a lot to learn. But, you know, we talk about some of the local events that are down here in South Florida, and I like to remind everybody that when you live here, first of all, you know, any day can be a little vacation for you, or when you're coming down on vacation, to look out for events like this. I try and find concerts and festivals, etc. So that's why we like to, you know, kind of tip everybody off. But I think that Kyle has gotten a handle on the craziness at his end, so we'll try one more time. Kyle, you there?
Hi, Dan. I'm here. I apologize for that.
That's okay. So, you know, first of all, why don't we talk a little bit about your background? I know that you've produced other kinds of events and festivals before. You know, the first one, I guess, is the toughest one. But what is it that you've been doing that's led up to this first Veg Fest that you're going to be producing here in December?
Absolutely. So in college, I was 18 years old, and one of my buddies said, "Hey, we should do a big Halloween party." So I said, "Okay, let's do it." We rented a local venue. We sold over 3,000 tickets at $50 each, and we were like, "Wow, this is very lucrative." So throughout the course of my college career, and I guess the start of my professional career, we produced 25 more music festivals all over the East Coast, different colleges, college campuses.
Mm-hmm. Now you.
I sold the.
I was going to say you're local here to Boca Raton as well, right?
I'm actually from New York. I went to the University of Albany in upstate New York.
Oh, okay. So we have similar roots. I'm a New Yorker originally as well. So.
Oh, wonderful.
All right. So
yeah,
what...
and then I relocated here probably around 3 years ago, and but I still love New York.
Hey, they should coin that phrase there. But in any event, so now I'm assuming I would only guess that you're a vegan as well, or no?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a lifestyle that you've embraced, and obviously you must see that there's an opportunity to fill other people who maybe don't quite understand it, or as well as the people that perhaps understand it and just haven't had the variety of things to eat and drink that might make their life as enriched as it ought to be. So obviously you came up with this concept, I guess, a while back. Why don't you explain a little bit about it, what people can expect if they show up at South Florida Veg Fest?
Awesome. Yeah, that was our philosophy was, there's different vegan education groups that kind of push a different message, but what we wanted to do was, just showcase the best of vegan and invite foodies, meat eaters, vegans alike, to come out for the day and just have spectacular cuisine prepared by local chefs, national and local food and beverage companies.
Now, I know that there's an element as well of, love for animals with vegans as well. Why don't you explain that? I mean, I'm an animal lover. I eat meat. I'm not proud of it, but, I do have a dog who I love, and I certainly can't eat any animal that's looking back at me on my plate. But why don't you explain a little bit about how that, comes into play here as well?
Yeah, well, animal cruelty is one of the fundamentals of veganism, and, I think just in today's, farming has turned into something so different than, your grandparents and their ancestors, how they used to eat food. And, we're just in a society where we have the ability to, eat a cruelty-free diet. So I think, people are starting to realize that, farming just got completely out of hand, and it's just cruel. And just it's also not healthy. These aren't like free range animals that's on the stores and on the menus of restaurants.
Okay, so there's that aspect. Then, of course, I suppose there's the healthy aspect, and obviously it's no secret or surprise that Americans are getting heavier, and there's disease that goes along with, being too fat or having too much fat or cholesterol in you. So, why don't you talk a little bit about the health advantages of being a vegan?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just the nature of veganism is a plant-based diet, and plants just in general have more nutrients than any meats could offer. So just to eat living plants and, just bright in color, and, where animals are, dead, they just don't have the same nutrient-dense material that plants do.
Now, I suppose, like with any food or fad, there's different things that are hot right now. So I know that you have many different vendors. What's some of the real cool things that are taking off, or that are new perhaps, that people might not realize are out there that they can find out about at VegFest?
Yeah, well, my favorite is veggie burgers. And veggie burgers have come such a long way, from what most people would typically imagine a veggie burger is. I mean, these veggie burgers are seasoned and, just filled with beautiful things that make them almost, as appetizing to a meat eater as a beef burger. So veggie burgers definitely on the top of the list. We also have a lot of cool organizations such as Toronto Pig Save, which is an organization dedicated to the conservation and the preservation of pigs, and just preventing cruelty against these animals.
Now, I suppose that part of the trick, of course, is also knowing how to prepare this stuff at home. So there's going to be a bunch of folks, I suppose, that are going to be doing demonstrations of how to prepare the food.
Yeah, we have raw vegan cooking demos. Our headlining sponsor is actually a restaurant that's conveniently right next door to the venue. So they have a full culinary kitchen there that we're going to be using throughout the course of the day to do cooking demos. We have a couple different chefs that are coming in and show us, different things that we can do in our house and not feel intimidated by, some of these really exotic menu items in vegan restaurants.
Well, I always like opportunities to sample something, because if I go to a restaurant and I'm going to invest my money and get a whole dish, it's like, then you don't like it. So when you get an opportunity where you can take a little bite from something here and there, I suppose that's always pretty cool. So when people come to the event, they pay their admission, and is it going to be where, everybody's going to have kind of free samples and everybody's going to get to taste stuff, or are there going to be, opportunities to buy lunch or buy dinner? How is that actually going to work?
Yeah, so the admission price is $15, and there's deal sites right now where you can actually get tickets for 50% off certain times and certain ticketing locations. Also, children under 12 are free, and the cost of admission includes unlimited sampling. Approximately 3/4 of the 125 booths are food and beverage companies that are going to be sampling in addition to selling. So, yes, attendees can expect to sample different things and, not feel obligated to purchase. I'm going to go with the intention of just eating a bunch of awesome samples and trying awesome different things throughout the course of the day.
Now, I also noticed that there's going to be some other kinds of folks there exhibiting, perhaps with fitness opportunities too. I guess that goes hand in hand with healthy eating, is making sure that you get your exercise in as well.
Yeah, we have a local yoga studio. We have a couple local gyms. We're a health and wellness company, Experience Exposition, so we like to showcase some really cool companies that, just fall into that all-encompassing health and wellness categories.
Yeah, my only concern is when I go to an event like this, I just feel so inferior. You see so many healthy people, and I look at them and I say, oh, man, I got so far to go still.
No, it's not like that. We're expecting 15,000 people, and a majority, there's not 15,000 vegans that are going to be here. It's going to be people that are interested in the lifestyle and interested in, favoring some of those dishes and just kind of experiencing what it's all about. As you mentioned, veganism is a really popular thing right now, and I think a lot of people are curious.
Yeah, I'm one of them, obviously, so I'm going to have to pop on over myself. So if people would like to come, why don't you give all of the specifics now so that everybody knows exactly the day, the time, where the location is, and how they can get tickets?
Absolutely. So all the information's online at southfloridavegfest.com. It's Saturday, December 3rd at the War Memorial Auditorium in Fort Lauderdale. The event is from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Advanced tickets are available online, or they're going to be available at the box office. But for quicker, speedier entry, it's just recommended to purchase tickets online and get quick access into the venue. And, we're going to have all kinds of food sampling, plus the opportunity to purchase meals. We have kids' activities, and like I said, children under 12 are free.
Well, it sounds like a good deal, and it sounds like we'll have a lot more healthy people, I think, after they go and taste and learn what you guys are offering. So congratulations to you. I hope it's a successful event and hopefully something that maybe becomes an annual event.
I appreciate you for having me. Thank you so much.
All righty, you take care. All right, well, there you have it, South Florida Veg Fest, and southfloridavegfest.com is where you can find more information. Saturday, December 3rd from 12 to 6 at the War Memorial Auditorium, just south of here in Fort Lauderdale. I think what we will do is take one more quick break, and then in just a couple of minutes we'll be talking to my good friend, Len Zime, formerly of the Chicago Sun-Times, and now he's just a Floridian like me. But he's got a lot to say, and I always enjoy talking to him. So we'll be back with more of the Golf and Travel Show. Stay tuned.
shot you win, one shot you lose. Drowned out by the cheers and booze. Save me from this misery. Just get me to the 17th tee. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Just tee it up and let her fly. Just one swing, that's all you get to prove you're the man. Hey, I got my own jet. Now that thing didn't pay for itself, so check out the
And
trophies
we
on
are
my
back. A little
shelf.
golf music from Peter Jacobson. You hear him doing the commentary, but he also likes to sing a tune every once in a while. And while we're waiting on my buddy Len, who should be calling in momentarily, I guess I will change some gears and go back to a little bit of travel news for you and some travel deals, and then we will hopefully find Len. My friends at AAA, who I like to quote sometimes for information about travel, they are forecasting for this Thanksgiving holiday that travel is going to be up about 2%. So the roads are going to be busy, and hopefully everybody's going to be careful out there. Gas prices are a little bit lower than they've been, so therefore more people are going to be driving, and please be safe. This I thought was pretty interesting. I don't know about any of you, but sometimes I will travel a little bit further and go to an airport where I can get a better deal or a direct flight. The flights that I took, for instance, to Asheville, I did have to go through Atlanta, which is never too much fun. But I occasionally will go up to Orlando. And when I go up to Orlando, it's it's a big airport, let me say this, but I just noticed that they're actually going to be adding a whole bunch more space in their terminal space, a $1.8 billion first phase on the South Terminal project is going to begin as soon as just a couple of months from now. Completion, they're talking about summer of 2020, and this is their international terminal, so this is to add a lot more space for more flights to go to Europe, and obviously with the prices as inexpensive as they are. Actually, I recently heard that it's possible that in 2017 we may be seeing flights as little as $69 from the U.S. to Europe. So some of those are probably going to be flying out of Orlando. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to change gears yet again, and we're going to talk a little bit of golf and maybe a little bit of travel with a buddy of mine who occasionally I cross paths with, and we're fortunate enough to have a chance to play together, but he really has been traveling much more extensively than me, so he's got a lot of tales to tell. Some of them are true. The rest I'm not so sure. And that would be formerly of the Chicago Sun-Times, and now just roaming around and filing incredible stories as he travels, and that would be my friend Len Zime. Len, are you there?
I am here. I am here. Yes, I'm a new now with you. I'm a Florida resident.
I know. I'm excited that you are, and I hopefully was one of the first to have already welcomed you to our wonderful state. And actually, you're going to be living just about a 3-wood away from the PGA Golf Club that we both had an opportunity to experience, and that must be very exciting, especially in the winter, to be out of Chicago.
Yeah, I tell you, we've been staying away from Chicago since I retired from the Chicago Sun-Times in 2010. I was the hockey writer, so I also as the golf writer, and I saw some pretty bad weather traveling around then. So Florida is, by my definition, heaven. Let me tell you, we're looking forward to having a lot of fun, and we've already had quite a bit. That media day the other day was a real good one.
Yeah, so what was your opinion? I didn't really have a chance to talk to you about your opinion of the Dye course, and I don't know how many times you played it previous to the renovation, but what did you think?
Well, I tell you, we were here 4 years ago and played the other two courses. The Dye course was closed then. It was having some severe conditioning issues, but I didn't feel there were any conditioning issues this time. In fact, it kind of brought a feeling of the Midwest back to me, because one of the assignments that I take every summer is at the Pete Dye course at French Lick, Indiana, which is the Legends Tour plays its championship there, and there's a lot of similarities, really. I mean, especially the Dye bunkering is something that it's really a treat to it's really a treat to see every hole looks a little bit different. And there were some really stunning bunkering on the die course at PGA Golf Club. It was a lot of fun to play.
Unusual to be in Florida and not have a lot of water, yet still have a challenging golf course.
Yeah, that was funny. I was expecting a lot more water out there, and I felt that the greens were good. That the bunkers were to me the best part of the course and the most fun part. They created the most memories. Looking back on the holes there were some very unusual bunkering complexes there, and I think people are going to love that course. It's a lot different than most of them. I don't claim to be the expert on Florida golf that you are that have played that many courses, but I think I've played about 15 or 16 in this immediate area over the last 4 or 5 years, and this one really kind of stands out as different than all the others. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to going back there.
See, you can spend a day playing golf and kind of be at the beach at the same time.
That's right. Not a bad way to live. I want to be you when I grow up.
There you go. So now you played another course that was just up the road as well, that had some interesting stories that I know that you wrote about. I saw on your website. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Legacy. It's an interesting place. It's the only private club here in PGA Village, and to me, I like the variety of offerings as a club there. Now, the course is a Jim Fazio design, just like the Trails course at PGA Golf Club. But I tell you, and I've played it now, I think 3 times since we've got here. It'll be, it's a place closest to where we're living. But it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of good holes. It's tougher at the start than it is as you go along, for better or worse. But as long as you know that, it gives you confidence as you look ahead to the next hole. But the thing about the Legacy that intrigues me is the other offerings that are here. You don't see that in the Chicago clubs from where we came from. They also have an 18-hole par 3 course and a miniature golf course, pickleball course, tennis courts, and swimming pools. So it's got a lot of other activities beyond golf, and that kind of intrigues me. I think that Bob Foisey, the owner, I think he's been pretty cutting edge with thinking that way, because golf clubs they have to be a little different now than they were years ago, and this one certainly is.
Now, you had mentioned that, I'm the Florida expert, but I kind of have to pay homage to you. The lifestyle that you've led the past year as literally a golf writer without a home, basically. Why don't you just touch a little bit about what it's been like for you the past year or so and pretty much traveling the country and finding interesting places to write about and play golf?
Yeah, it's really been an interesting thing. I was the golf writer at the Chicago Sun-Times for 41 years. And back then, you traveled a lot more than the golf writers at papers now. There aren't as many of us by any means as there used to be. We covered basically birdies and bogeys. We'd go to the Masters, the U.S. Open, the PGA Championship. The lucky ones might go to the British Open, and you'd have the bigger events in your own community. So you were basically covering the pro tours, the bigger women's tournaments. Usually a Champions Tour event would get in there somewhere. But upon retirement, what I wanted to do was get more into the golf industry rather than just the tournament side. And we kind of made it a practice to drive to all these stops. I had been pretty much lived my working life on an airplane, between hockey and golf. And we bought a van that we can travel in, and we've traveled quite broadly, writing travel destination reports from all around the country. We've the only areas we haven't really hit very hard is the East, and that's on the docket for next fall. So I've learned a lot about golf beyond the birdies and bogeys. It's been a lot of fun. It's been educational, and we've seen a lot of interesting places along the way over the last 5 years.
Well, I know that traveling like that is wonderful, but it also can be taxing, and it's always nice to come back home. And what I have to say is that I'm just glad that you and your lovely wife, Joy, are now home here in Florida.
Yeah, I tell you, well, this is going to be home. We've kept a place in the Chicago area, a condo there, largely for the sake of next summer, because Chicago has not had much real good golf activity in the way of competition for the last few years, really. But next year, it's going to be different for 1 year there. And, the U.S. Open is very close. The LPGA has a major there. The NCAA championship is going to be there. So we want to be part of it one last time there. But the game plan is to enjoy life with the Shubes and hang around Port St. Lucie and the areas nearby for quite a while. We're looking forward to it.
Well, they say you can never go back, but you can go back to Chicago, but just to visit. Make sure you keep coming back to Florida. That's all I have to say. So we're just about out of time, Absolutely. But if people would like to keep up with some of your travels, I know you do post your stories of all your travels and your reviews and the places you play and the places you stay on your website. Why don't you let everybody know how to find your website?
Yeah, check it out. It's fun. It's Len Ziem on LENZIEHM. Len Ziem on golf at gmail.com.
And you pronounce
Len Ziem on golf is the website.
You pronounce it better than me. I messed it up, so I apologize for that. But hopefully,
no, that's no problem. But Len Ziem on golf, and there's a variety of things there. I have tried to give the travel end of things, travel destinations, a big focus. But I also have a tournament section and feature sections and column sections and anyway, I think it's kind of fun reading, but I'm especially interested in the travel stuff that I've been focusing on the last few years.
Well, I like reading it. I learn a lot, and I'm sure our listeners will as well. And I look forward to being able to tee it up with you again real soon.
I do the same. Look forward to it, Dan. Thanks a lot.
All righty. Thank you, Len. All right. Well, what I would like to do is I got time for just one last thing to tell you on travel. How about a trip around the world for $1,000? It seems that one of these travel websites that I like to go to, they put together a trip where you leave from New York, Kennedy, you fly on Norwegian Air, where we talk about all the time, to Stockholm. You go from Stockholm on to where do you go? You go to Bangkok, from Bangkok to Kuala Lumpur, Auckland, New Zealand, and back. And with the cheap airfare that they have these days and some other cheap deals, you could do all of that for about 2 weeks for a little over $1,000. So just to remind everybody, there are incredible deals out there. So take advantage of them, please. I wanted to thank all of our guests, Jimmy Terry, the general manager of the PGA Golf Club in Port St. Lucie, Kyle Michaud, founder of South Florida Veg Fest, and, of course, Len Ziem from the Chicago Sun-Times. And what we're going to do is always, like we do every week, is we'll post who the guests are going to be on our Facebook page. So that's facebook.com/The Golf and Travel Show. And like it, and this way you will know who we're going to have on future shows. We got Thanksgiving just around the corner. Want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll be back with another episode of the Golf and Travel Show soon, so make sure you tune in.
Railway station, got a ticket for my destination. On a tour of one-night stands, my suitcase and guitar in hand, and every stop is neatly planned for a poet and a one-man band. Homeward bound, I wish I was homeward bound.
You have been listening to the Golf and Travel Show, hosted by Dan Shub, heard live every Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. on 1470 WWNN, and replayed every Sunday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 740 a.m. WSBR. Visit the show on Facebook and tune in next week. If you are in South Florida or traveling the world, hit 'em straight. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors.